Hi guys, welcome to my channel today. In the beginning, God made man and woman, but guess what? Now we've got trannies. Well, welcome to my channel again, guys, and it's your girl Nisi. I'm really excited to come here. As usual, I'm always excited to come here anyways, but today I want to discuss something that a lot of people kind of overlook. It bothers a lot of people, but a lot of people are not talking about it. And guess what? I'm in the Garden of Eden. So guess what? This topic really like coincides with my environment. So I'll just get right into it. Today I'll be talking about transsexuals in being participating in women's sports today in this generation. So for the purpose of avoiding to say the whole term transsexual, I would short it to, or I'll shorten it to trannies. Good. So when I say trannies, you know what I mean. So now something very interesting happened, and strange and weird. So a friend of mine came visiting, from overseas. And my friend, she came with a guy, obviously, and then they took me to a UFC game, right? When we got there, before the whole martial arts thing start, I'm not really conversant with the whole thing, but yeah, sometimes I do enjoy watching it. So pardon me if I use some terms that you find inappropriate. So, but we were at the game, right, at the show, and they had before the main show started, they had a women's fight. Okay, fine, women's fight. It's kind of sexy to see two women fighting, in a ring. It's really kind of sexy. So when the fight started, guess what? We saw this thing. I don't know what to call it right now, but most of you call it trannies. No offense to you trannies, but really, like, this thing, this is like, why I call it a thing is because this person had muscles, had the height of was like 6 feet plus tall, and this thing just had hair, because it had hair like a woman, and then it had a little bit of protrusion like boobies, but you could see from the thighs, you could see from the arms that this is a man. Like, you could even see from the beard, like the structure of the face, that this is a man. But guess what? That was the person that was going to fight this woman. So they got into the ring, and then they started to fight. And you know what? This person that I can't differentiate whether it's a man or a woman, who says it's a tranny or who says it's a woman, actually, like, it's confusing. Like, this thing was actually like beating the living shit out of this woman. Like, he really beat her up, smudged her head, she came out bruised and taken out of there in like a stretcher. And I was really disappointed. Me, my friends, I saw a lot of people there, a lot of men and who were there, who were sitting down there, and they were really disappointed. Like, seriously though, does it even sound fair to you? Like, people say, oh, abuse against women, but you're setting up a man who woke up one day and decided, oh, you know what, I don't want to be a man today, I feel like a woman, so I just want to change my sex and be a woman. Like, seriously, why would you even, like, have the world lost its fucking mind that you're literally going to pair up a man against a woman in sports? Things like fighting, things like running on a racetrack. Like, you see this thing or this creature that is now whatever it is, and they just like on a racetrack with women, and then he's far ahead of them, and then these girls have to compete with that. And guess what? Let me not even start with you. Some of them have this protrusion in their front parts. It's like It's like some of them haven't even chopped off their dicks there. Some of them, it seems like their dicks are so tiny. You can't even make out what exactly is hanging around their waist area. Like, it's ridiculous. And do you know what? The worst part of the story is that this madness has spread so vastly into the Western countries, USA, Canada, UK, you know, all of these Western countries, to mention the least. They are all following this pattern. You know, do you know that I actually saw a video that that parents actually gather their kids in a room and have a tranny comes to them and ask them questions like, are you a boy or are you a girl? Like, what the hell is that about? And seriously, I saw even kids that were barely walking. They took them there. Now, what are you trying to teach kids, for heaven's sakes? You're trying to confuse children. What are they supposed to know? Because in the beginning, when God made us, he said there is man and there is woman. And we all have different body structures, body formations to us. We all have different strengths. You know, so why is it that some men just wake up today or some women just wake up tomorrow and then they say, oh, today I feel like being a man. Oh, no, I don't want to be a man. I want to be a woman. Like, what is that about? It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Like, if you're gay and you like men or you like women and we see that you still have a penis, that is more understandable, because at least we know that you're a man who loves other men or who likes to fuck other men, or you're a woman who likes to lick vaginas. You know, so it's really ridiculous when you see a person wake up and say, oh no, I'm tired of being this particular sex and I want to switch. Like, what in the heavens is that? What insanity is that? It's really, really crazy. And the worst part is that the world is like, oh no, let's give them the opportunity. If he feels like a woman, put him amongst other girls. No, you can't. Because no matter what happens, even if this creature is taking hormonal medication to change their formation or their structure to be more feminine, it still doesn't change the fact that they are still men. Men. They are not women. They are still men. Even if they chopped off their penis, they still have that whole area which was originally structured by God to be men. So why is the world trying to be so complicated? What is all this about? I feel like a woman. I just want to change my sexuality or my whole. I just want to change. You know, like. Then in the bathrooms, you see all these trannies going into women's bathrooms. And then the world wants to sit down and say, oh, let's stop the abuse of women. If you want to stop the abuse of women, stop allowing creatures who don't have an identity to go into bathrooms filled with women or filled with men. That is sexual harassment. For heaven's sakes, it is crazy. It is ridiculous. It is insane. I hope Africa is not going to lose its sanity and start going with this pattern, because it is ridiculous. It is the worst. You can't change the originality of things, you know. And if it is so important that trannies have to matter, then why don't you just create a separate organization, a separate body for trannies to participate in sports with fellow trannies? Because you can't have a man. If you can't have a man who feels like, oh, because he's not strong enough to fight other men, or he's not strong enough to compete with other men, he wants to come and compete with women who he feels that he's much more stronger than, or much more braver than, or much more whatever it is than. And that is the kind of person or the kind of people you want to compete with. That doesn't really seem fair. So if we want to be fair, let fair be fair, okay? If we have trannies, we should have a different section for them to be able to, you know, participate in sports. Let there be a tranny sports, so that men trannies will compete against men. and women trannies will compete against women. Because the whole system is corrupt. Even the bathrooms in restaurants is corrupt, and you have these things going to clubs and grabbing other men's dicks when they are not attracted to them or giving them attention. Like, whatever, you don't have a sexuality. You are an unidentified species. You are. If you're gay, it would have been much more easier, but we can't identify you. And now this craziness, this ridiculousness is being transferred to kids who are just coming into the world, and then you want to start confusing them, telling them, oh, well, little Johnny, do you feel like you're a man or a woman? And then little Johnny will start getting confused. He's a kid. You tell him, you start asking him such questions, and he grows up. What the hell do you expect little Johnny to think? Little Johnny is going to grow up and say he's confused. He's confused. There's nothing wrong with admiring things that women like women wear. Maybe you admire makeup, you admire all this, but going ahead to mess around with what has been destined to be is really, really ridiculous. Like, it is insane. If you have a small penis or a small dick, come on. Like, maybe scientists should be working towards giving men with smaller dicks and penises who have low self-esteem, maybe there should be something that can be done to improve their size in the actual sense to what they want. Maybe it is dick insecurity that is making them to say they feel like women, because maybe Eddie here, Big Eddie, who is huge, tall, and macho, feels so incompetent and so tiny and so small because he has a tiny little wee-wee, So if that's the case, scientists should work towards that, not altering the sex of people. And people, come on, guys, like, wake up. Don't let the devil win, because he's literally winning. You just sit down and you wake up and you say, oh, you feel like something that doesn't exist. Okay, so now what do you want the world to do, since there's now man, woman, and trannies, right? God, man, I just feel like this should be put out there. And a lot of people are scared of speaking up, especially women in the sports industry. Especially, they are scared of speaking up because they don't want to be seen as, incompetent or troublesome, or or they complain too much. So they try to avoid talking about it, and they don't want to lose their identity. They don't want to lose their sport, But in the real sense, I'm speaking on behalf of all the women out there and all the men out there. It is not okay. If you really feel the need to be some sort of creature that we cannot define, then create your own society and don't try to compete with people who are actually really normal. I hold nothing against you, but I think that let fair be fair. Don't come out there and say you're trying to make the world a better. This is not making the world a better place. This is confusing the world. This is confusing the reality of life. So stop being unfair to all those poor women out there and putting them against creatures that have big muscles, that have dingling dicks or big fat balls, or those that cut off their balls will have men beard and strong thighs, stronger thighs than a woman, telling them to come and compete against each other. That is unfair. I think the sport industry should look into this, and any other industry that is concerned. And I also think that Africa, wake up and stand up, and do not let this madness from the Western world to creep into our continent and start to corrupt our minds and the minds of our children, turning them against their own identity and confusing them and making them to lose themselves. Tomorrow they wake up and you say, you see a full-grown adult saying he's going to therapy because he doesn't know who he is anymore. You know who you are. And the truth is that you lost your whole identity the moment you decided to cut off your PP and turn it into a VV. Come on, you do not have a vagina and you do not have a dick. So stop trying to be something that you're not and then telling people you're confused about who you are. You've lost your identity. Yes, you have lost your identity. You've gone fucking crazy. Stop trying to cut off your tiny little wee or trying to change your wide open VV just because you feel like it's not what you want anymore. Well, I am very passionate about this topic. It is crazy, and I think it is important for people out there to know. Well, I hope you like this topic and you like the whole conversation. I hope you also like my environment. Like I said, this is the Garden of Eden, and I came here to remind us that we have something to fight for, questions to ask, because everything started from there. There was man and there was woman. Trannies, we do not know. Trannies, we do not recognize. This is a new body, and anybody that is new should not be put against the normality until it is being figured out. Well, I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, and please, before I forget, do not hesitate to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And please, even if you have a hate comment, keep it coming at me. After all, they say the truth is always bitter, but I'll always come with the truth. One love, guys. Bye.